Michael McIntyre, please come see us. And when I say us, I mean Dan. Mike McIntyre, please come see us. Listen up in the pits. Attention in the pits. Alcohol dragster, let's make it official. Come on down. We need your lanes, please. Alcohol dragster to the lanes. Funny cars, be ready. We'll be calling you shortly. Hey, while we have a quiet second, want to say thank you to AA Auto Salvage for the King and Queen of the .90 Award. First racer in each class to run dead on during a winning run picks up $100 if you get the decal. And if you want the decal, the NHRA Tech Trailer's got them. And then all of the 2020 winners will have a shot at $1,000 when we kick off the tour next year. We've also got the Ken Moses Race Transmissions #1 qualifier award. You get a plaque from Moses being #1 qualifier after round 1 of eliminations. Our Bounty Hunter Awards, they are back in. The Select Performance Bounty Hunter Award, $100 to the racer who defeats the most recent Super Street winner. Portatree is kicking up $100 to the racer who defeats the previous winner in Super Gas. And Duzin, $100 to the racer who defeats the previous winner in Super Comp. And it's been so long ago, we might have to go into the archives, go back and look at the stone tablets, find out whose head the price is on. But we really appreciate all of our sponsors up here in Division 1 getting involved, make it a little more interesting, and putting a few more bucks up for grabs for all the racers. 69 beautiful degrees out there, 45% the relative humidity. A lot of water, 94 water grains. It's dried out a little bit, but still got a lot of moisture in the air that all these racers are going to have to deal with. Density altitude, 2,704 feet. That is Mr. Race Oil in the left side, also known as Lee Zane, with that 4-cylinder F dragster automatic. And over here on the right side, Joe Carnacial in the I Super Modified. Joe currently sitting in the number 2 qualifying spot. Just 3 hun behind. If he can run that thing down to about an 884, make that 886, numbers is hard. He could potentially take over the top spot. But a little warmer out there. They're going to be a little bit slower. Well, let's see what you got. The 4-cylinder dragster and the Supermod Cavalier. Joe is going much less slowly than he would prefer. 808 for Zahner. Oh, yowza. 161 miles an hour. I mean, I know he shut it off a little bit early last time, but still, 808. Joe goes 1784 at 60 miles an hour, but he was out of it very early, and by a hundo, Lee Zane goes right to the top. 65-1 under the index. So Todd Logan backs up, as well as everybody else. And that brings up the C Dragster Automatic, driven by Ronnie Proctor. And the F Dragster with a clutch and a 5-speed, driven by Al Ackerman. Love looking at Ackerman's car from this side. If you look at it, it's like a V8 that just got half of it sawed off. Proctor's is a V8 that doesn't have half of it sawed off. Hey, listen up. If you need fuel, you need to get it now. The fuel shack here at New England Dragway is going to be closing shortly. So if you need fuel today, you need to get it now. They will be back again tomorrow, but if you're going to need fuel tonight, get over there and get it before they button the thing up. So a big 4-cylinder and a small V8. How about Al Ackerman? Perfect on reaction time. What, are you kidding me? Kidding me? It's a practice run. 705, 191 miles an hour for Proctor. Slows down 2 hun. 9 flat, 106 miles an hour. Shutting off early down there is Al. So that'll leave Lee Zane number 1 for now, and that'll bring up Frank Affrane. Pete Diagnolo. Pete, who lives in New York. Pete lives in New York and is sponsored by a Texas RV company. Now, that's a salesman. The folks at 104 Contractors helping out as well. They've been with Pete for a long time, Frank Affrane. The 104 Contractors guys. So these two guys basically sort of kind of team cars. Sort of kind of. An E Super Mod and a C Econo Altered. See the Martino logo on the side of the scoop over there for Frank and Tom Martino, one of our division sponsors. And the beauty of Martino is he's just got a lucky qualifier award. They're going to randomly choose somebody in the comp field, and Tom's going to kick him off a couple of C notes. Wow, Affrane knocked the tire off. And he is just slow rolling her down there. 879, 124 miles an hour for Pete. Now, when you're looking at the 8th mile speed of 127, the quarter mile speed of 124, you don't exactly need a PhD in comp to know that Pete didn't have his floored to the finish line. And you look at Frank Afrani, you don't need a PhD in anything to know that thing knocked the tire off of it. And apparently there's some drips and drops on the racetrack behind Diagnolo's car. Hey, final call. Attention to the pits. Final call. I'll call Dragster. You should be in lanes. I'll call Dragster. Final call. And funny cars, if you're ready, you can go ahead and roll on up. And listen to the background. So it's trying to get a little oil up down here. They got the lacquer thinner out. They got the mop out. And I don't know if we're going to need the tractor yet or not, but we're going to have a couple of minutes here before we fire back up. With Comp Eliminator. I do want to say while it's quiet, I took a little stroll through the pits and had a number of people tell me thank you for coming. Well, believe me, it is my pleasure. But it's Joe Lombardo and Dave Moner the reason I'm here. So please thank them. I love getting out of the house to go to a race, but I wouldn't be here if those two gentlemen didn't invite and want me. So please pass your appreciation on to where it needs to go, and that's to those two guys. All right, we got mop, we got lacquer thinner, we got rosin, and we're going to have the tractor. Let me get my computer out. I think we got, she thinks my tractor's sexy around here somewhere. Is there like a male version of that song since we have a female tractor driver? There needs, we need to get the gender straight. It's important. It's the little things.
America's food supply, our heritage, and many of our freedoms are under attack by animal rights extremists who are waging war against America's farmers, sportsmen, and animal owners. The food we eat, sport hunting, fishing, and even owning a pet are all at risk. Protect the Harvest exists to defend our way of life, to preserve our food supply, and to stand up for our individual rights. Now is the time to educate yourself. Learn more at protecttheharvest.com.
MicroStrategies and its drag racing team, Bon Giovanni Racing, knows what it takes to succeed, both on the track and in business.
MicroStrategies has been transforming business through innovation for nearly 35 years. Our core focus is to help our customers manage, mine, and monetize their data and informational assets, utilizing technology to drive business, the same way we utilize technology to win races. We take a high volume and variety of data from multiple sources to help us succeed in our racing program. Whether we're finishing first in a big race or helping our clients grow their business, it's all about the teamwork and the analytics of winning.
With a dedication and passion to cross the finish line first, the MicroStrategy staff on the Bon Giovanni Racing team are constantly pushing forward, analyzing data to increase performance, and striving to be the best.
It's time for a new mattress. And who are your mattress go-to guys? PC Richard & Son, that's who. Our mattress experts will help you find the mattress of your dreams. All the best brands at the guaranteed lowest prices. When you want it, need it, just gotta have it, we'll get it there the next day. So sleep better with the right mattress from the right mattress company. Oh yeah, it's time for a new mattress. Get to PC Richard & Son, the company you can trust since 1909.
Have won the championship 3 times. Once again, in case you missed it, we're going to go out of comp into the alcohol cars, and after that, it will be Tommy Tape Top Sportsman presented by Select Performance. And then we'll go into the final rotation. So Altereds, a pair. Aragona with an inline 6-cylinder. Billet, purpose-built. I don't believe that there is an OEM part on that thing. Yeah, maybe a spark plug. That thing was built to do one thing, and that's to race in comp eliminator. And I think in 5 years, it's won 4 championships, finished second once. And Todd Logan, the classic, small block, single 4-barrel, Bantam. Ruh-roh, ruh-roh. I feel exactly like that. The gentleman down here with hands on his head going, oh, no. Now, I'm trying to find a silver lining here. The thing was still running at the finish line 175 miles an hour, so it's not like it went kablooey. But it was definitely pumping out some smoke, so hopefully whatever is wounded is minor. I mean, like I said, it's not like it went kablooey and slowed down to 92 miles an hour. But we're going to have our top-end safety team out there taking a look at the racetrack, see if there's anything that needs to be cleaned up down there. Aragona, meanwhile, goes 735 at 180 miles an hour. Call that 68 3 under, and he goes to the top. So Lee Zane goes to number 1 and bumps Todd Logan. Then the champ goes to number 1 and bumps Lee Zane. But Todd has not yet made his second track attack. So we will see. Just taking a look, it looks like where most of the inspection is going is down in a shutdown area, and that's usually a good sign. I said, even though the smoke started before the finish line, it was still running at the finish line. We'll just hope that it was something minor, something repairable. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Speaking of keeping my fingers crossed, there was a online update on Alex Zanardi, who apparently underwent emergency brain surgery. And I'll tell you, that guy, for all that he's been through and all that he continues to do, he's definitely an inspiration, a hero to many, and I think he's going to be in a whole lot of prayers tonight. And in case you missed it earlier, he was competing in a championship hand bike event and collided with a truck. But we know he's been through some pretty serious stuff before and came out on the other side of it, so let's just keep our fingers crossed that that happens again. Now, good news from the top end of the racetrack. Word is that there isn't anything on the racetrack that needs to be cleaned up. And that's definitely good news for the team down there. Again, hopefully whatever that smoke was not as bad, I think, it was originally feared when we all started watching it from this end of the racetrack. But green flashing LEDs at the finish line means start the next pair. I'll call funny car. Come on down. Let's make it official. I'll call funny car to the lanes, please. We got our final comp eliminator car here, and then we're going to jump right into the dragsters. Jerry Russo in the Cavalier. Going to be final car in category. The B Supermod Automatic. 354 cubic inches. 3-speed automatic. The New Jersey based. Number 8 currently qualified, Jerry Russo. What do you got for us? We have 11 cars that took an official time. Now, Rich Preiser did not run this session. Santo Volpe did not run this session. And Jerry Russo, who turned the tire the first time, just turned the tire again. And it goes 851 and 164 miles an hour. But he gave most of that up right here at the hit. 136 to the 60-foot timer in that car. And you could see exactly what the issue was, as it spun the tire when he cut it loose. And we got Top Alcohol Dragster rolling around the corner. They're going to be up next. And one of the first two is going to be Tom Fox, and that's definitely great news after his car got out of shape on the earlier run and actually made minor contact with the concrete down there. Car was not damaged too severely, and they got it back up here, trying to crack their way into the field. The alcohol guards right now are all chasing Florida's very own Josh Hart and the TechNet team. Interesting to note that of these 6 cars that made an attempt in that first qualifying session, only 2 of them really made any kind of a reasonable run. Let's see if we can up that average a little bit. I like our chances. First up into the burnout box is going to be Tom Fox, the only blower car on the property. Tom Fox, who I firmly believe is lucky to still have the car after that crazy ride back in qualifying session number 1, where it went this way and then that way, and then somehow, some way, he was able to save it. And that's Rich McPhillips Jr. driving the car. His dad stands directly behind it. Team out of Audubon Service in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. couple of multi-generational teams out here battling side by side. McPhillips' car smoked the tires out in the middle in the early session, shut off to a 9-second run. But we all know what that green machine is capable of. And Fox ended up being a DQ. After getting over the center line and then coming back and just giving the wall a little peck with the back tire. How about that? What a great way to start off. 5:23 for McPhillips. 276 miles an hour, and Rich McPhillips goes to the top. Tom Fox comes back after that scary ride, goes 5:34 at 271 miles an hour, and that is a nice job for Team Fox. So the father and son McPhillips team and the father and son Fox team, nice job to both. Kicking off this alcohol qualifying session with good, clean runs. And McPhillips, now the new standard bearer at 5.238. And 276 miles an hour. All clear down at that end, and we should be firing the next pair. Jackie Frick driving John Fink's car. And Dan Mercier. Down from Canada. That would be Dan. That would be Dan. See the quad down there on the racetrack. I believe it was a pilot chute that became disconnected. One of those last two cars. They run out and clear that out of the shutdown area, and he will be well out of the way before these two are ready to stage up and fire off. Jackie, who makes her home in New Jersey, her business is Accelerated Travel. Taking care of travel needs for racers, not just in this part of the world, but literally all over the country. And Mercier out of Quebec. And he is a former region champ in his own right. Wow, after the two cars in front of them both make really nice runs, these two cars combined don't get 50 feet. They were both up in smoke. It might not have been instantly, but it wasn't long after instantly. What's the word for shortly after instantly? There must be one. Soon thereafter? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So Rich McPhillips will hold on to the top spot. But wait. We got another pair of cars back here, and it features former Lucas Oil World Champion Dwayne Shields and the guy who was #1 qualifier after the first session, Josh Hart. Dwayne Shields makes his living out in Las Vegas, where he owns, among other things, a bunch of Shoreline Express mini marts. If you're ever out in Las Vegas and you need to stop and grab yourself something at one of these stop and go places, you want to support those who support the sport, find yourself a Shoreline Express. Muscle Milk, Clean Boost, NGK. And Josh Hart, the Floridian, the automotive enthusiast, TechNet, his sponsor. Bernie's is his business, and you'll see that on a few cars as well. Listen up in the pits. Attention in the pits. Tommy Tape, Top Sportsman. Need you to the lanes, please. Tommy Tape, Top Sportsman, presented by Select Performance. Come on down. You're going to be up momentarily. Dwayne Shields smokes him instantly, and Josh Hart was definitely on the aggressive side. That thing was really strong off the starting line and then started driving its way into smoke out there about 300 feet. It looked like for Josh and the team, they were trying to find out where the edge is, and they got it 938 at 60 feet. It's pretty stout in one of these things. And then he saw it just start to drive into a haze a little before the 300-foot mark. So Rich McPhillips, first car down the track, steals the pole at 5:23. Thomas Fox also had a great run at 5:34. They end up first and third, sandwiching Josh Hart, who's 25 from earlier, will keep him second. Dan Mercier fourth. Dwayne Shields and Jackie Frick, both of whom tested just recently, and both of whom were feeling pretty good about things up until now. Our funny car qualifying is going to start off with the champ, Sean Bellemere. Part of that Bartone, Boggs, and Bellemere team. Sean, who's been spending a little time quarantined at the river out there between the Arizona-California border. You see that big number one proudly displayed on the B pillar. Tony, of course, who won a championship. It's hard to believe it was almost 20 years ago, isn't it? As a driver, continued to have a very successful career, not just in this, but also with an injected nitro car on the Heritage Series. Wanted to keep the alcohol team together, but didn't really have the burning desire to put on the helmet anymore. He hired Sean Bellemere, and that's been a formidable team. Bartone Brothers, Hussey Performance head gaskets, Redline Oil. That is Steve Boggs out in front of the car, and Steve is a pretty sharp dude when it comes to making these alcohol machines run. They missed it in the first session, and that's why he's got to be up first. You want to be number one? Outrun DJ Cox at 5.57. Simple as that. .551, 267 miles an hour, and Sean Bellemere takes it right to the top for Hussey and Redline and Chevrolet. Nice job for Steve Boggs and T-Bone and all the boys down there. After missing it a smidge in the first session, 5.518. Puts them number one right now, and now they're going to have to wait and see, because remember, DJ Cox was number one, and he earned the right to run last. Top Sportsman, we need you to the lanes, please. Top Sportsman, come on down. Specialized Autocraft on the side of Brian Golick's car. Sitting in the number 4 spot. He was one of the first cars down the racetrack early. Went 572 at 253 miles an hour. Just a nice, clean, solid run. And that'll give him something to build on here. Let's see if they can take that brand new Camaro-bodied machine and pick up the performance a little bit. Pick up 500s, and he could be number 3. John Headley and the Thunder Motorsports team. Now, interestingly enough, John didn't do a burnout at all. He just rolled through the water and rolled right up. As a general rule, that means that you're not necessarily trying to set low ET. He just wants to make the run to get put on the sheet for tomorrow. .572, 252 for Brian Golick. Let me tell you, if he wanted to run that thing in Top Sportsman, look out. Back-to-back runs within a thousandth of a second. And John Headley did kind of what we thought he was going to do. Just roll up, take the tree, and kind of idle down the racetrack. You have to have a run of record in order to officially be on the ladder, and John now has that. They'll have the opportunity later on tonight if they want to come back and try to make a representative run, or they can spend the rest of the day working on it, knowing that they will be placed on the ladder tomorrow. They'll have to come out and start from the bottom and see if they can't maybe surprise somebody. But Sean Bellemere stays number 1. Brian Golick stays number 4. John Headley's now number 7. And we're just waiting for those red lights at the far end to turn green like that. And we should be ready to fire the next pair. Fred Tigas and Dan Pomponio. Be Dan Pomponio. And that would be Fred Tigas. There's a lot of experience driving alcohol funny cars out there on the racetrack right now. A couple of guys have been doing this for quite some time. Car in the left lane based in Massachusetts, car in the right lane, New Jersey. But neither of them, well, I shouldn't say neither of them. Fred Tigas did make a clean run in the first session. Sits number 3 right now. And Pomponio would just as soon forget the run in the first session. As a matter of fact, as hard as the car shook, he might have already forgot it. Let's make this final call. Attention in the pits. Final call. Tommy Tate Top Sportsman presented by Select Performance. If you're not in the lanes, you're late. Final call. Easy. Man, Fred Tigas took off way early, then got into some shake and pedaled it and got into a porpoising situation. And Pomponio just knocked the tires off of it when he swapped feet. So Pomponio, 14 seconds. Tigas 842, and for Fred, you know, at least he had the 572 from earlier, the 567 from earlier to stand on. And Dan now is 0 for 2. Hadn't been anywhere near the finish line with his foot on the floor. Sean Bellemere jumping up big and taking the number 1 spot for the moment. But wait, we've got a couple of more cars back here. They're going to take a swing at Sean and see if they might be able to just knock him off of that lofty perch at 551. For Pomponio's got to be a little frustrated. Looks like his really good race car abandoned him over the winter break. That has been extended some. Del Cox and Matt Gill. See the number on the side of that red, white, and blue car? 1-1. That means he is the reigning region champ out here in this part of the world. And he's done that a couple of times. His father, who stands behind the car, used to be the one who put on the suit and the helmet. Family has been involved out here for a number of years, and they have always been a tough out. Paul tells Matt you need to move over that far. Like the DXI construction team lines their driver up. All right, DJ, you had it. Sean took it. Can you get it back? Car in left lane made the best run of the first session, but he's going to need to pick up 6 solid hundreds if he wants to get the number 1 spot back. That is a nice looking way to finish things up. How about a 557 squared? DJ goes 557 again, 5.570. Matt goes 5.579. Big speed on Matt at 267 miles an hour, 264 for DJ, but that's what we kind of expect. And I tell you what, the funny cars and the dragsters both showed us exactly the same thing. You can make good, clean runs out there, or you can overpower the track out there. It's always a tightrope walk when you start racing those things. So John Headley idled it down at the racetrack for the number 7 qualifying spot. Dan Pomponio didn't want to idle down the racetrack, but he ended up number 6. Brian Gallick with a 572 is 5. Then Fred Tigas is 4. Matt Gill is 3. DJ Cox is 2. And I don't know if you remember earlier when I said that I thought if you wanted to be the number 1 spot, you're going to have to be pretty close to 552. Sean Bellemere is number 1 at 5.518. It's almost like I've paid attention to this stuff before.
That's why you wear the turban. You know, you're the master understander of what.
The turban?
Yes.
I don't know if I like that or not. Yeah, why not? Hey, reminder, tomorrow, since a lot of the cars are going to go into eliminations, RFC is going to have a chapel service, 8 a.m. in the pavilion. It's non-denominational. Everyone is welcome. Craig Ritchell will be the chaplain. And if you're missing your normal weekend worship services, being here at New England Dragway, please feel free to come by and join us. And bring your chair, bring your golf cart, bring whatever you need. We're going into Tommy Tape Top Sportsman, presented by Select Performance. This will be their final appearance of the day. Then we'll rock our way back through the rest of the Lucas Series and close things out with qualifying session number 3 for the alcohol dragsters and alcohol funny cars. Quick little touch up with a little rosin, a little spray on the starting line, and Wild Bill's going to slide back up in here and tell you about the Tommy Tape Top Sportsman cars.
All right, thank you, Mr. Reinhardt. Give you a little bit of a break there as we'll get through top sportsman and then get back into round 3 of stock, super street, super comp, super stock, super gas, and then finish things off tonight with another round of top alcohol, dragster, and funny car. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming out. This is probably the first weekend that we've allowed, this state has allowed people to come out. We didn't know until last Monday that we were going to be able to have people in the stands, as the governor had to lift his stay-at-home order that he did on Mondays, which allowed us to be able to have some capacity here. So it's great to see everyone that came out today. We're sure we'll have a few people here tomorrow. Keep on forgetting, today's Friday. You know, I'm usually sitting in the office trying to get things done before the weekend coming up, but just be more for me to do on Monday when I get there. So, looks like we're going to go into Tommy Tape Top Sportsman. Presented by Select Performance. Bring them on down. Let's do this. All right, here we go. Round 2, top sportsman coming at you right now. Chuck Tosolo in the 95 Beretta. He's going to take on 55 Bel Air of Don Lucier out of Pittsfield, Mass. Lucier had problems last round and did not make a run. Tosolo is in the number 25 spot, running on 812. And this will be a first call, stock. Stockers, we need you to the lanes, please. Stock eliminator, we need you to the staging lanes. Nice set of ears. I like those ears there. That's a nice set right there. Pom-poms on top of the head. Stock eliminator, we need you to the staging lanes, please. Stock eliminator to the staging lanes, please. Last time I saw Chuck, he was traveling around the country. They just sold everything. They hopped in the motorhome and drove around the country for a year. What we have there is a failure to accelerate. Solo 10, 746, 179. That'll move him into the number 20 spot. Lucier will get onto the board in the number 28 spot. Ron Regal coming up right now, Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania, 68 Camaro. Going to take on Ben Schlafman and the 05 Grand Am out of Sharon, Massachusetts. Okay, all thumbs up, side by side. Nice, clean looking cars here. The last time I checked, I think Fairless Hills, PA, just outside of the Philadelphia area. Big Chevrolet power plant, 750 cubic inches of Chevrolet power. Schlafman, easy for me to say, GM powered, 615 cubic inches under the hood of the Grand Am. Stock eliminator, we need you to the staging lanes, please. Stock eliminator to the staging lanes. Stockers, bring them on down for your third and final qualifying session of the day. Regal with an 0-12 reaction time, 6.96, 199, 794, 171 for Schlafman. Regal stays number 6, Schlafman number 25. Doug Busa coming up right now, the 02 Camaro. The farmer rancher out of South Glastonbury, Connecticut, over in the O'Reilly lane. He's going to take on Wayne Horton here, out of Smithfield, Rhode Island. The 63 Corvette split window, Chevrolet powered. Horton currently in the number 21 spot, 754. Problems for Booster in round the last qualifying session, as he is currently in the number 26 spot with an 1127. Horton, the 002 reaction time. Better run there for Busa. 7 flat with a 197. 753.5, 182. Busa to the number 8 spot. Horton into the number 22 spot. Craig Monroe will come up right now. The 70 Duster TSR sponsorship on the car. Racing Products. Taking on John Amoretti out of Vales Gate, New York. Out of the Syracuse area. 63 split window Corvette. The Campbell Supply Company sponsorship. Amoretti currently in the number 1 spot, a 669 at 210. Monroe in the 24 spot at a 759. Both are on the ladders for tomorrow's elimination rounds. Monroe with a 008, 038 for Amoretti. Amoretti, 668. Amoretti's ready. 669 and a 668 at 210 for Amoretti. Monroe, a 753 at 180, will put him in the number 23 spot. Carl Giuliano will come up right now. Fresh Meadows, New York, 2012 Camaro Super Sport. Currently number 9 spot at the 7028. He will take on David Crafts out of Lisbon Falls, Maine. The Crafts Care Racing sponsored Corvette, sporting 929 cubic inches of Chevrolet power. All right, looks like Giuliano will get himself lined up here. Crew of Kraft here looking in, turning the bottles on, saying, hey, ready to go, thumbs up. Make sure I don't stick to the track. There we go. We'll have to make sure we have a little bit of courtesy staging here. You don't go fully in until your partner as pre-staged. There we go. All right. Giuliano's pre-stage. There goes Crafts. It'll be Giuliano, 696, 197, 720, 191 for Crafts. Giuliano stays 6. Crafts stays in the number 14 spot. Next pair, it'll be Dan Christopher out of Raymond, New Hampshire, the TNT Motorsports. Sponsorship on the side. He'll take on the S10 of Dave Miller. Miller currently in the number 3 spot at a 687. Just a tick below 200 miles an hour. Christopher in the number 16 spot. Christopher would like us to move himself up just a little bit on the ladder. Side-by-side run here at the stretch. 684, 199 for Miller, 723. So Miller stays number 3. Christopher with the 723 will go and stay in the number 16 spot. Both improved by a couple tenths, actually a couple hundredths there to move on. Rich LaChapelle to take on Dan Hill. First run here for Hill today. Doesn't have a registered run on the screen. Rich LaChapelle, currently number 24 spot with a 754.8. Stock eliminator. We need you to the lanes. Stockers, to the lanes, please. Puff, and shuts it off there for Hill. He'll be on the ladder tomorrow. 749, 181 for LaChapelle, 962 for Dan Hill. Next pair to the ready line will be Alex Thompson, 63 Corvette, taking on Larry Willard and his 57 Bel Air. Thompson currently in the number 18 spot with that 726.6. Willard in the number 20 spot at a 743 flat. Thompson, 717. Willard, a 737. Thompson to number 15. Willard to number 19. Next up would be Fast Freddie Perkins. The 57 Bel Air. He'll take on Nick Maloney. His TNT Motorsports sponsored Camaro. All right, folks, this will be your last call. Last call, stalkers. We need you to the lanes. Last call, stalkers. We need you to the lanes for your third qualifying session. No problems for Perkins here. The crew is saying, nope, it'll be a single pass here for Maloney. See if Maloney can improve on the 7:14.2 from round one. Nope, 7:14.4 at 193. 2000s. That's a bracket car ready for competition. Taking on Arnold Agar and his 57 Bel Air. Agar out of Canaan, Connecticut, currently in the number 5 spot at a 691.6. Eastburn out of Wilmington, Delaware, currently in the number 28 spot. Problems for Agar there. He couldn't get the car into reverse, and they sent him right down. And it'll be a single here for Eastburn. A lot better run there. 694, 204 for Eastburn. Definitely will move him up in the qualifying order. Move Eastburn into the number 6 qualified spot. Don Priest to take on Bill Janke. Janky currently in the number 13 spot at the 7-11, 17 spot for Priest for the 719. Janky out of Newburgh, New York, a plumber out there in the eastern New York area there with Newburgh, with the Yanko clone Camaro. Problems there for Janky is he rolled right through. Starter out there say, you can't be doing that. Back it up, back. Oh, reverse, reverse. It's the R. $710, 192. Picked up a 10th and 20 miles an hour on that run for Don Priest. And we'll back up Bill Janky here. All right, just a little cleanup there, and then get our, looks like we're going to end things up here with a couple left-hand lanes, and then finish it off with a pair, and then get right into stalkers right after that. We'll have a pair now, as it'll be Brian Conray and Matt Harper. 63 split window Corvette out of Levittown, Pennsylvania, currently in the number 12 spot at a 709. Harper out of Wiscasset, Maine, the 90 Grand Prix. Harper. Currently number 26 spot with his 90 Grand Prix there. 009 for Harper. 703 for Conray. 757 for Harper. Conray to number 11. And Harper will stay in the number 26 spot. Okay, Frank Volpe coming up right now. The 2018 Mustang Ford, powered out of Poughkeepsie, New York. Currently in the number 9 spot at a 698. So single run here for Volpe. It's a great looking Mustang there. Let's see what he can do about improving. He's already into the 6-second club there. 698, 7 flat, 195 for Volpe. Okay, here we go. Next pair, it'll be Ron Proctor taking on Cliff Agar. The Performance Racing Engines. Taking on Proctor in his 2009 Cobra. Currently number 2 spot at a 680 with a 4. Agar, currently in the number 19 spot with his Grand Am. Proctor wants to grab the number 1 spot. He'll have to do better than a 668. So basically, you have to run a 667.9 or better to take away that number 1 spot. .205. That'll keep him in the number 2 spot. Looks like Agar clicked it off just about the 8th mile. Run it through, and he'll stay in that number 19 spot at a 726. It looks like this will be our last competitor in the Tommy Tape Top Sportsman. It'll be Eric Cabral in the Ionati 41 Willys. Cabral, currently number 21 qualified, 737 with a 4. Sitting here about moving a little bit further up on the ladder here. 739 at 185. So, if we look at your top 5 here in Top Sportsman, John Amorati, 668. Ron Proctor, 676 with a 6. Dave Miller in the S10, 684.9. Perkins in the number 4 spot at a 689. And rounding up the top 5 would be Arnold Agar at a 691.6. So it looks like we'll do a little Starting line prep, a little dust, a little spray. And we'll go right into qualifying round number 3 in stock. And we'll turn you back over to Mr. Alan Reinhardt for stock eliminator.
Thank you, Bill. Getting excited. Looking forward to calling some of the 9 wide guys here in their 3rd qualifying session. We'll run, of course, one more rotation of all of these guys and gals and wrap it up with Q3. And we set the ladders for alcohol dragster and alcohol funny car. Mentioned that tomorrow morning, because some of the cars are going into eliminations tomorrow, RFC will have a chapel service, 8 a.m. It's in the pavilion, which is right back here behind the tower. You can come with your golf cart, bring a chair, whatever you want to do, but that's 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Start engines at 9 o'clock, and Stock Eliminator's final qualifying session will lead off tomorrow. Because Dave Moan is Dave Moan, he wanted me to remind Tommy Tape, Top Dragster Sportsman, and Comp Eliminator that you will not run again today. The rotation that we're going to go through is Stock, Super Street, Super Comp, Super Stock, Super Gas, and then alcohol cars. Everybody knew that, but Dave was worried because, well, Dave worries. That's what he does. Here comes Bob Vogel, your number 1 qualifier in the Boo. Little 305 powered machine over here on the left side. Eddie Chen needs to come see you. Eddie Chen needs to come see us, please, and Super Street. Come on down. We need you to the lanes, please. Grace Faraka. That is a really cool GTO. You realize that GTO is like twice as old as Grace? Really? I like young folks in classic muscle cars. You'll never convince me that kids don't like cars. I'm certainly not. All of them do, but there are a bunch that are still enamored with performance and the automobiles, whether they're classic or whether they're newer generation. 1178, 101 miles an hour for Bob Vogel. He's getting her down in bracket mode now. 1267, 103 miles an hour for Grace. And here's Tony Jarvis, FSAA. AA is code for blown 5-liter Cobra Jet. Cool car alert, cool car alert. And Tom O'Laughlin, that's an SS396. Voodoo Ranger Racing, really? Is that Voodoo Ranger like in, I'll have a Voodoo Ranger, please? As a general rule, I'm not a big IPA guy, but as a general rule, I do like the Voodoo Rangers. 875. 155 miles an hour for Jarvis. That's the first time he's gotten down the racetrack with Cobra Jet. And 1128 at 117 miles an hour. Tom O'Laughlin now has made 3 runs, 1128, 1128, 1129. I do not think I would have trouble picking a number to put on the window of that car. And now it's Jack Mattias. Good old Jumpin' Jack Flash and Gary Parker. 77 model Chevy Camaro. Not exactly the height of the performance era, but how about that baby picking the front end up? And Mattias with the 427 does a second burnout. He didn't mean to do a second burnout, but he did a second burnout. 1143, 89 miles an hour. So Mattias just barely moving along, and I think they're going to try to wave him into the short turnoff down there. And he makes a slow turn. Check this baby out. If you like muscle cars, how would you like to have this? That's Elroy Dam in the Super B. It's not a Roadrunner. I don't care how many times my screen says so. It's a Super B. Oh, there we go. It's Craig Gay. We had the wrong number in. That makes more better sense. Thank you, Nancy. The BDR Transport car. That is a 440 6-pack Super B. from the, I got to get me one of them. That thing's cool. Glenn Brigley over here on the left side out of B&B Auto Machine in Massapequa Park. See, now I'm wondering what Massapequa means. We learned earlier what Poughkeepsie means. Maybe that'll be my overnight assignment, is to look up what Massapequa means. Massapequa means lobster roll. It's Indian for lobster? I don't think so. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Cool car in its own right. The 1990 Camaro, I-Automatic 350. Of course, when we're talking stock eliminator, you got to run something that was originally available from the factory. You can do it old school. You can do it new school. You can do it high horsepower, high performance, or you can do it, well, Malibu style. We got a Boost at number 1 right now. 1157, 114 miles an hour for Glenn. 1095. 119 miles an hour for Greg Gay. It's definitely warm out there. Not exactly what you would call record-setting weather, but the weather's the same for everybody, so you got to see if you can squeeze the most out of it. In case I was wondering about Massapequa, here we go. Great waterway? Are you serious? When dealing with Dave Moan, trust but verify. It's Camaro's a pair. It's SS396 Camaro's a pair. It's 67 model left side of Ken Robinson. It's 69 model right side of Bob Moran. Moran has got the high horsepower 396. Robinson has the low horsepower 396. And it shows up on the scoreboard. 1036 for Bob. 1093 for Ken. Great Water Land. Water Land. I thought water and land were mutually exclusive. Water, you need a boat. Land, you don't. Great Water Land. Nah. Dean Ribeiro and Adam Strang. Okay, I know. I got it. Strang's car, by the way. 1968 Firebird, 400-inch Pontiac, and a 4-speed. 1065, 126 miles an hour for Adam. 1099 at $121 for Ribeiro. Driving the white hit car. Now check this out, Nick Ryder's car. I think the first time I ever saw an air grabber hood on a Charger 71 vintage was this one. And I think the only time I have ever seen an air grabber hood on a 71 Charger was this one. James Whitehead, the shop owner at Whitehead Motors, and his 98 model Camaro. I think I had my generations mixed up earlier. Nah, I was right. Ruh-roh. Wah, wah, wah. Both drivers were pre-staged. And I have to reset this real quick. And they bump into the beam, that starts the countdown, and they bumped in, bumped back, and then the countdown was already going, so turn the switch off, please. There we go. Now we'll try Nick and James one more time. The classic 71 Charger RT, that was kind of the end of the muscle car era. Now come on, Nick. You know better than this. Okay, let's see if I can make this happen this time. Let's see. Let's see. Whitehead's in, and Nick rolls right through. Something obviously not right with the Charger, because Nick's been doing this long enough that that's, you know, he doesn't make that mistake, especially like 3 times in a row. So something just ain't quite right. So wait a minute. Massapequa was great water, and Massapequa Park would be a water park.
That's exactly right.
Okay, that makes sense now. I wonder if they have one of those super slides. I like the super slides. That is Matt Lisa in the left side. driving Kenny Richards' car. That is Joe Lisa in the right side driving Joe Lisa's car. Matt, who's in the military, thank you, sir, for your service, as all members, current or veteran. And Joe Lisa, that's an SS396 68 Camaro. The Quadrajet version, not the Holly version. Whoa, when the kid puts it on Dad on the reaction timer. Just because anytime you got a chance to show up your dad, you got to do it. 11:16, 93 miles an hour for Joe. 11:26, 92 miles an hour for Matt. Both off the gas when they cross the stripe. Now it's Billy Harper, the F stock automatic. 350 powered, Tilburg powered, Nova powered, and Gene Monahan out of Brockton, Massachusetts, part of the Lynch mob. $11.07, 118 for Harper. Monahan goes 12.07 at 109. Almost exactly 1 second apart, 1.001. If you really want to get down to it. Now Scott Gove. This guy does not shut off early. That car's 5 kinds of awesome. And Mark Callahan, that's an SS396 over here on the right side as well. Once again, we got the high horse SS396 on one side. We got the not on your high horse SS396 on the other side. Super Street. Oh, attention to the pits. Super Street. Come on down. Need you lanes, please. Super Street to the lanes, please. 997, 998, and 999 for Scott Gove on a nice warm New England day. Mark Callahan goes 1085 at 121 after back-to-back 82s. He slowed down a couple of ticks that time. Tick, tick. Now to bring up Eddie Bednaz. How about this? 1969 Nova. Okay, that's cool. SS396. Okay, that's cool. And a 4-speed. Okay, that's awesome. You go from cool to awesome as soon as you put a third pedal in there. Greg Barzamanian in the 83 model. We'll start with juniors tomorrow. $11.21, 94 miles an hour for Bednaz, who shoved the clutch back in early. 11:40, 119 for Barzmanian. By the way, I have been corrected. Juniors will be the first thing down the racetrack tomorrow. Juniors will kick off the day. Remember, you can't make noise until 9 o'clock, but at 9 o'clock, it'll be like warm them up, and we'll be calling them. Now it's Tyler Philippone in the Cutlass, Jim Farrell. And the 83 model Camaro. $11.74, 111 miles an hour for Farrell. 1261. Tyler actually picked up a couple of ticks. 63 earlier, 61 now. We're going to pick up one spot from 19 to 18. Barry Parker in the 1970 SS396, also known as a 402 Camaro. And Mike Farrell's E-Automatic Innovative Performance. E for innovative. Wait, that would be innovative. Well, we should change it. Innovative Performance. See, now that'd be something. Nobody'd be expecting that. Trip zip perfect on the reaction timer for Farrell. Attababy, 120 miles an hour, 10.90. 1029, 128 miles an hour for Barry with the SS396/402. Broadbent's got a big block. Broadbent's got, whoa, Bob, easy. I'm not saying he was going to hit the wall, but let me just say I'm surprised that finish line marker for the juniors is still there. thing spun the tire and moved over. He tried to stay with it. He saw it start wagging its tail out there when he was about a foot from the wall, and I'm going, man, that car is way too nice to get a case of concrete poisoning. He scared the heck out of me. Ends up shutting it off, goes 1268. Car's fine, thank you. Nothing else matters. Car's fine, thank you. 1205 over here on the Ford side of the racetrack, and that'll bring up Mighty Mouse. Here I come to save the day. And Jimmy Daniels. Now the window says Mom Mom. Okay, Mom Mom it is. Barsky, Bolts, Daniels. .1069, 122 miles an hour for Keith Sansone. E. Jimmy Daniels goes 1130 at 116. Okay, which Camaro you like better? Jim Roberts, 69, small block 4-speed convertible. A lot to love about that car. Bob Letelier, 14 model 427 factory stock B. There is no wrong answer, by the way, which one you like better. There's no wrong answer. For me, no offense meant to Bob Letelier. I like John's car. Well, there's two reasons. Reason number one, I'm a clutch guy. Reason number two, I'm a convertible guy. Letelier goes 985 at 136, 1119 at 117 for Jim Roberts. Now it's Angelo Di Tacco in the Pontiac and Todd Bednaz, another big block. And a 4-speed. The D stick. D like in duh. Bednaz gets a pretty good bite with his big block and a 4-speed. Pretty solid run, 1065, 126 miles an hour. Less than 100th off of his best for the weekend. 1053 at 116. Angelo Di Tacco now has run 53, 53, and 54. Solid. Very solid. Oh, we got the Battle of the Booze. Howie Smith and Timothy Stickles. They're both M automatics. They're running their very own class eliminations run right here. I had to bet something. Maybe they bet a lobster roll. Or maybe they bet something from the Smoke Shack Barbecue, which is hidden right down there behind the grandstand. 1198, 109 miles an hour for Howie. Tim goes 1238 at 107 miles an hour. And now we've got Brad Rose, 67 Camaro. And Lauren Kanuick out of Oliphant. Where is Oliphant, Pennsylvania? Oliphant, I'm sorry. It's in Pennsylvania? Okay. I could have figured that out. Matter of fact, I think I did figure that out. North of Harrisburg, okay. 1108, 117 for Brad. Lauren goes 1237 at 108 miles an hour. And we'll touch up on the racetrack again when it's hot, when it's sunny. And these small tire cars all hit the same spot on the starting line. It'll tend to make a bald spot. So we're going to unbald it. And then we'll continue on. Super Street. Attention in the pits. Super Street. You should be in the lanes.
MicroStrategies has been transforming business through innovation for nearly 35 years. Our core focus is to help our customers manage, mine, and monetize their data and informational assets. Whether it is in enterprise content management, big data and analytics, IoT, cloud, or security solution, we have the skill and the experience to help our customers disrupt their markets and lead in their industries.
John Gray and Tim Gray. I bet these two have met. Pretty sure of it. A couple of Chevrolets, a couple of guys from the same city, same state, same house. John's got the big block. Tim's got the small block. Hey, nothing wrong with going racing with your dad's car if that's your dad's car. Tim Gray goes 11.004 at 118. His best so far, 9.98 at 132 for Gray, who's got that baby running in AA trim here this weekend. Brings up Brian Valentine and Gary Walters. In memory of Dino Bob, it says on the back of that 67 Square Nova. And they're off and screaming down the boulevard. Walter's going to need to snug up that reaction time if he wants to go anywhere we get into eliminations, but he does run 11.09 at 111, 11.65 at $1.13 for Valentine, who finally held the throttle down a little bit longer. Looking to find that perfect spot in the starting lineup. Phil Langford, the Gold Rush. Bob Horgan out of Atlantic Drywall. Wolfboro, New Hampshire. See, now I don't even have to go to Google to find out what Wolfboro is named after. I'm guessing when they settled the town, they had a large wolf population. Either that or it was Tom Wolf, one or the other. 924, 146 miles an hour for Langford, his factory stocker, and that's his best by a little. 1146 at 114 for Horgan. So Langford picks up 2. Horgan backs up 2. And here comes the champ, Allie Dahl. The bad girl in the Porta-Tree car. And Chris Buescher out of Merrimack, New Hampshire. If you're wondering why Allison's a champion, there's a couple of reasons. One, because she swept her division races last year, and that's helpful. 2, because her husband is a former national champion too, and she finally got sick and tired of him going, honey, what do you think of my national championship trophy? So she had to go get one of her own. No, that's really it. That is really it. .1039, 128 miles an hour for the Porta-Tree driver, also known as the champ. Chris Buescher goes 11.51 at 100 miles an hour off the throttle. And now it's Katie Stepanek. She's a top tenner in this part of the world out of Stepanek Racing Transmissions. And George LaBelle. So if you like that Camaro convertible earlier, but you're just not a third pedal person, well, George got just 2 pedals in his car. And he likes that just fine, thank you. Down the stripe, 11.43 for Katie, who picks up. And 12.11 for George, who also picks up. But George picks up just a little, just a little. Just a little. Here comes Rich Boyle, the boiling point. Spelled that way because, well, that's the way it spells his name. And Ron Infantino. Ron was one of the first cars down the track this morning. That's Steve Focacci powered 69 Hugger orange car. Fun little matchup between the G car and the H car. From a performance standpoint, they should be in our close. Infantino, 11.13 at 117. Boyle goes 11.29 at 116. And now it's Jeff Eastburn and Shane Oakes. Team rough and ready. Oakes hits the gas just 0.05 of a second too soon. But he does improve. 11:20 at 118 miles an hour. 11:39 for Eastburn, who also improves a little bit. Just a little bit. And here comes Mr. Beasley's car, Eric Merrifield. Isn't it amazing how loud that thing is and then how quiet it gets? Stunning, I tell you, stunning. Last car in category, 1088. 125 miles an hour. Angelinas in the Datsun Z car. Believe it or not, that thing still got the original 6-cylinder in it. Not? Okay, you're smarter. You're smarter than I give you credit for. It does not have the original 6-cylinder in it. Ron Parmalau. The V8 Vega, small block Vega. When I was a kid, that was like the car to have. Everybody made a kit for the old V8 Vegas, right? We're playing target practice. We're playing with a 10.90 target. And we go 10.903 and 10.909. Wow. You know, when I was doing the Super Comp earlier, the double O's just like pounded the 90s. Well, the Super Street guys know how to get it done. As the first pair both run dead on the dial with a little something. Now it's John Dolan and the Malibu. You know, in stock, they got to run the 305 because that's what they had. Not in Super Street. This has got a stroker small block in it. Joan LeBlanc in the Vega wagon. And if you do Vega wagons, of course, then you've got to determine whether or not you want the roof rack Vega wagon or the non-roof rack Vega wagon. A lot of it depends on whether or not you're a surfer. Another 1090. Wow. 10906, 135 for Joan. Way to go, Joan. 1092, 123 for John. All right, let's just keep knocking out the 90s, huh? Carly Wolf and Annalisa LeBlanc. A couple of cowl hooded, small block powered. Mustang on the left side, Cutlass on the right side. 1090, the target for both. Down to the stripe. Oh, 1089. Annalisa was trying to keep the roll going. She just missed it by 4 thou. 1098, 124 miles an hour for Carly. What do you think of these two? Peter Neal Jr. driving that classic Corvette for John's Racecraft, and Keith Mayers in the Porsche, which has obviously been to the paint shop. Porsche and Corvette go head-to-head in a lot of different disciplines, not usually on the drag strip. 1094 to a 1094. 94.2 for Neal. 94.5 for Keith. They're 2 thou apart in reaction time. Had that been a race, Neal wins it by 1 thou. Hey, listen up in the pits. Oh, attention to pits. Super comp. Come on down. Super Comp, come on down. We need you, please. Corey Prendall bumped in. He rocked deep when he brought it up. Turn on the red bulb. We'll let it go in practice, but fix it before we get into eliminations, or it'll be an early day. Pat Doherty goes 10.802 at 155. And once again, Super Comp. Come on down. Attention in the pit, Super Comp. Need your lanes, please. Next up is Neil Vaccaro in the left side. That super stock looking Calais. And in the right side is Larry Pulver. He is the pulverizer. I wonder if that means if his last name was Tender, he'd be the tenderizer. Or if he gets up before the sun, he'd be the early riser. It's just the way my brain works. Or maybe it's the way it malfunctions, one or the other, I don't know. .1091, 143 miles an hour for Neil. 1095 at 128 for the pulverizer. And now it's Ray Miller and Lori Miller and the rest of the Millers and Tony Jarvis in the Mustang. Now, Tony's car, interestingly enough, it's not at all uncommon for racers to put their significant other's name on the passenger door. Tony's passenger door says first wife. I'm not sure what that means. No, I know what a first wife is, but I'm just saying what? When he got to the decal guy, he couldn't remember? You know, what was her name again? You know, that woman I live with? I don't remember. 1088, 141 miles an hour for Ray. 1094 to 135 miles an hour. Or maybe he's, you know, still waiting to meet. So when he finds out her name, he'll put it on. That could be too. Here comes Bob Loans. He is half responsible for Brian Loans. And George Correa, the BMW with the blown Chevrolet. Words you don't always hear in the same sentence. Words you don't ever hear in the same sentence. 053, 1080, wow, 1084 for Loans. He missed it on this end and that end. George goes trip, zip, perfect. Yay! And then goes 1097. Boo! And we now have Paul Lorente and Kyle Bigley. Kyle's car kind of has that super stock look about it, doesn't it? As a matter of fact, Lorente's kind of does too. They are 2 thou apart on the bowl, both pretty good on the racetrack. 1092 left, 1096 right. 150 miles an hour for Paul. Of course, we got 565 cubic inches pushing you along. Not that Kyle Bigley's like playing with no horsepower. He's got over 600. Now it's Frank Volpe and Ray Knight. Little Chevy versus Ford. 383 Chevy, 347 Ford. Side by side, dashing down to the stripe. That looks like a 1092, and that looks like a 1092. Wasn't going to be a tie, though, because Ray Knight left early and left the red light on. But both of them look like they're pretty well dialed in on the number they're looking for. Now it's Mike Falcone. The 1970 Challenger. Mission Impossible. I don't believe in impossible. Eric Corey in the pickup. I do like the impossible car, but I like to believe most anything's possible. Having said that, it's impossible to compress liquid. You can try as you might, but it ain't going to happen. Eric Corey goes 1094 after being 002. Mike Falcone goes 1086 after being 018. Now it's Darren Wood in the Firebird. And Barbara Markaloo. That's a really cool car. That's another one's got like big engine. As a matter of fact, both of these. Big engine, big horsepower, big mile an hour. Super Street used to be so simple, and then racer mentality got involved. .1087, 152 miles an hour for Darren. 1091, 153 miles an hour for Barbara. I said both of them over 150 miles an hour. That's kind of the standard for high mile an hour. Not the record in the class, by the way. I believe that Kleinweber still has that with. He used his old Top Sportsman car. Ah, the stories that car could tell. Louis Bena up next now. He's in the Nova in the left side. That thing's cool. That thing is sweet, too. Needs a license plate. And Brian Sawyer, here comes your reigning division champion of the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series. And another perfect light. Sawyer throws donuts up for reaction time. And 1089, 147. Brian Sawyer's total margin of error on that run was 7 thousandths of a second. Yeah, that's why he's the champ. 1084 at 144 for Lewis. How about John Harper? 1955 Bel Air Chevrolet. And Rob Ladder. 1969 Camaro. Final call, Super Comp. Attention to the pits. Final call. Super Comp. Another perfect reaction time. Maybe the scoreboard's just stuck. Put a penny on top of it. Bump it with your hip. 1085, 154 miles an hour for Rob. 1091, 144 miles an hour for John. And it's Zach Byron in the S10. Yet another truck. And Bud Finch in the Daytona. Both of those things are cool. That's one of the great things about Super Street. You still see such a wide variety of cars. Not that you don't necessarily in Super Gas, but certainly not as much. 1086, 125 miles an hour for Zach. 1101, 141 miles an hour for Bud. Now it's Taylor Iacono driving the Bernie's ride, and Ted Leahy in the Nova. I know the way Bernie's is spelled is a little bit unusual, but Josh actually said that the name of the business was kind of after Weekend at Bernie's. That we like doing like wild, crazy, silly stuff. Taylor, 008. Taylor, 1088. Taylor, pretty darn good. Ted, 011. Ted, 1081. Looks like you got a little bit more throttle stop work to do, but not too shabby. I think we can just about see the end of our Super Streeters, and that means Super Comp. Final call. Final call, Super Comp, if you're not here and you want to make this run. Come on. 1 car, 2 car, red car, blue car. Dave Markle in the red car. Rick Mattioli in the blue car. So while we may have started with a couple of 1090s, we've really come roaring back with a 00 lights. 1088, 140 miles an hour for Rick. Dave goes 1087 at 131, crossing the finish line stripe. Now it's Kelly Kondratic for JKR, PCF, and Lucas, and Wayne Seavey. The El Camino, which is Spanish. It means the Camino. The Monte Carlo and the Camino, neither of which probably ever dreamed they would be race cars when they rolled off the assembly line. 1076, 139 miles an hour for the Monte. 1089, 138 miles an hour for the Elky. That'll bring up Jesse Jameson and Tyler Christopher. Tyler in the Monza, that thing's actually got full exhaust all the way out the back. I wonder how close to streetable it is. Well, usually, even if you're going to put mufflers on your race car, you usually don't go full exhaust all the way out the back unless you have designs on doing something else with it. $1094, 124 for Tyler. 1124 for Jesse. That's not going to work at 121. Here's Russ O'Dell. Nito. Says so right on the side. Nito. The Northeast Timing Organization. Jason Mazzata in that 68 Nova. That thing does have a license plate. It's got a Florida license plate. The guy lives in Massachusetts, has a Florida plate. Is that how you like get around going through inspection or something? There must be a reason. 1101, 132 miles an hour for Jason. Russell goes 1122. Russell goes 117. It looks like we have our final Super Streeter in the water, our final pair of Super Streeters on the starting line. That would be Andrew Johnson. Davis ice cream? Really? Oh, I like ice cream. And Doug Russo. Yep, that's a pretty big burnout for a Super Streeter. 10.888, 125 for Andrew. 11.001, 115 for Doug. And Dave Johnson looks like the prophecy. Another ice cream car. Ice cream, good. Really, really, really good. Really, really better than good. 1102, 143 miles an hour, and that will lock down Super Street for the day. We're going to change the number on the scoreboard from 1090 to 890. We're going to go from all left-hand steer door cars to mostly center steer dragsters. As a matter of fact, I believe they all are. I don't think we've got a door car. We got an alternate or two. I don't think we've got a door car in the field in Super Comp this week. Quick little cleanup down there around the water box. We should be ready to go with 890 cars. Target practice. Tommy Salba. Up first this time. That's interesting. What, do you got a date? Maybe it's just because he got a date with a super gas car that's coming up in a little bit. Wanted to get this done and go back and get ready. Chris Ladiga with the small block Chevrolet and the upswept headers. That's a Dan Page built car, but it's been built quite a while ago. A lot of runs on that car. Are we really womping? We're really womping. 8.902, 162 miles an hour for Chris. Tom goes 891. Tom was better on the tree. Chris was better on the track. 5 thou apart at the stripe. And had that been a race, which it sure sounded like it was, 8.902. Getting there first by 5 thou was Chris. Dick Dorr. And Patricia Blake. Patty Blake had a problem with the car the last time up, if memory serves. Let's see if she got that straightened out. Both drivers jumped the starter gun, and then Dorr goes 884. At 187, that thing really hits the stop hard. 216 at the 60-foot clock. I mean, that thing really hits the stop hard. 892, 163 for Patty. A slightly closer to conventional throttle stop setting, if there is such a thing. Now it's Rick Rollison in the left lane and Jason Kinney in the right. Okay, identical reaction times. Believe it or not, we do occasionally get mathematical ties on the scoreboard. It comes down to the sometimes less than a 10,000th of a second. 885, 179 for Jason. That's a bit of a noggin scratcher. 887, 161 for Rick. That's a little bit closer. In practice, it is not at all uncommon to see a whole lot of 87, 88 numbers because most people try to set up to be just that much hot. And that's why you need to practice. Brad Coryell and Bill Krug. The combined reaction time of both drivers was 12. That ain't too shabby. 879, 165 miles an hour for Brad. Nah, that's not great. 887, 167 for Bill. That's not bad. Not bad. It's pretty rare when we get to the point where it's third run of the day and anybody's still missing by a tenth. Dennis Torito left. Phil French right. Wow. Phil goes in. Phil was up on the converter before Dennis was fully staged, and you heard him sitting there warming up the fluid for probably a good 10 or 12 seconds, which is usually longer than you'd like to see. Trip 8's at 180 for Dennis. 886 and 172 for Phillip. Going to bring up Mike Rabilato. Grandson watching here on the starting line. And Emily LeBlanc. The Boston Blitz. It's great to see all the families out there in the pits and in the stands and hanging out here and enjoying a beautiful afternoon at Lewington Dragway. 888, 180 miles an hour for Mike with an 013 bulb. I think he learned that from his kid. Emily LeBlanc was 892 at 156 miles an hour. Now it's time for TT Motorsports. Tiana Zarella and Bob Hyatt out of Atco Auto Service. And nobody in a real hurry here. Now we're ready. Now watch Tiana playing that top end throttle stop. 887, 170 for Hyatt, 901. 132 for Tiana. Still trying to get that magic number worked out. Here is Rich Dorr and Ray Fredericks. Listen up in the pits. Oh, attention to pits. Super stock. Super stock. Come on down. We need you now, please. Super stock. To the lanes. Rich Dorr missed it by a thou on this end. Missed it by 300 on that end. 887, 170 miles an hour. 885 at 181 for Ray. After he was on the green side. And now we got Craig Rice for American Used Auto Parts. And Mike Bodnar. Mike, who was on the come see us list earlier in the day, and I believe we've gotten that taken care of. Matter of fact, I am certain of it. Okay, certain-ish. $899, 145 miles an hour for Bodnar. Rice goes 956 at 167, and that is a big swing and a miss. Whoosh. That would appear to be Howie Smith over on the left side. That would appear to be Theodore Cook over here on the right side. Ted is playing the small block game. We don't need all those cubic inches. We can make it work. Just over 400 of them. I don't care how big your motor is, you're not going to go very far in eliminations if your reaction time starts with a 2, and that's why we try to use up those bad runs in practice. 888, 189 miles an hour for Howie, 889 for Cook. So Cook, he's got the car where he needs it to be, just need to get the driver snug up a little bit. Tom Slater and James Blake next. Bump, bump, bump. Another 00 light. I tell you, these super compers, they've got the tree figured out. They still haven't quite got the 90 peg like the Super Street guys do, but an 894 at 175 is what James Blake is going to get. 885, 177 for Slater. Don and Cheryl Milson's machine. The mono-strutted car on the left side, Stephen Logan. Out of Northeastern Mechanical and Patriot. Second time this round we've had a 1 power red light. You don't mind a 1 thou red light in practice, but man, if that happens in eliminations, that is painful. It's like you'd almost ready to just roll the beam than do that. It's like, ugh. 886, 178 miles an hour for Wilson. 883, 170 miles an hour for Logan. Now it's Mark Pettit. The news in machine and Joey Cambria for airlift. NoSquat.com. If you run varying loads in whatever your tow vehicle is, folks at Air Ride, make sure that you've always got the right attitude in the truck, as it were. Using the air to level her out. Pettit's car pulled in and just took off before it was supposed to. Cambria went 887 to 175. That's not exactly like a 001 red light, but that's definitely one of those where you go, okay, good. It was practice. Now it's Chuck Crapella in the dragster and Jimmy DiTucci. Is DiTucci the only non-rear engine dragster? I believe it is, right? What kind of odds you give me if I take DiTucci against the field for the win? No, that's not enough. Try again. No, that's not enough either. Keep going. This is going to be a large number, and not because I doubt DiTucci's ability. It's just that they got him surrounded. I mean, really surrounded. $884, $166 for DiTucci. Trip 8s for Chuck Crapella. That's a pretty good practice run. Pretty darn good. Super Stock, are you here? Yes, thank you. No, why not? Super Stock, you need to be in the lanes, please. That is Bill Warders in the left lane. That is Phil Molicella in the right lane. Bill, Phil, Bill. Shake hands, go to neutral lane. Pretty good. 4 thou difference in reaction time, pretty good. 880 at the finish line. Wow. Phil, come on, man. You're not supposed to miss by a tenth on the third run. 888, 171 for Bill. I mean, you usually don't miss by a tenth on the first run, but darn sure not on the third run. Now it's Mr. Happy and Mr. DeStefano. The No Shame Racing Team over here on the right side. And Dan Bisbano, Mr. Happy over there on the left. Chalk up another 00 reaction time. And chalk up another 888 at 171, 887, and 170 for DeStefano. Now it's Kathy Smulligan and Chris Cumming. The orange and purple car, that would be Chris. The white and purple car, that would be Kathy. Both big blocks. No wings, both downswept headers. Kathy's red, Chris is green. Kathy's 885. Chris is 892. And that's Miranda Marsters over there in the left lane in the black car on the O'Reilly side of the racetrack. That's Dennis LeBlanc over here on the right side, the Ford side of the racetrack. And another 00 reaction time. And another 888. Miranda Marsters nails the number at 8.902. A little behind on the tree. Not bad, but a little behind. Dennis goes 00888. Kristen Tavares and Nick Willard. .906 and 8.909. So after I called him out not all that long ago, all of a sudden, everybody can run the number. I can see the end of Super Comp, and that means we're going to make this final call for Super Stock. Kyle Tavares on the left, Chris Garrison on the right. How far out in front will Chris Garrison be at 330 feet? I'm going with 5 car lengths. 5 car lengths at 330 feet. I'm going to need somebody to measure it for me. What do you think? Was it 5? Might not have been 5. 883 to an 884. That's not the story. 50-mile-an-hour speed difference. That's the story. 126 for Chris. 176 for Kyle. Had that been a race, Chris wins it. Better reaction time. Got there first. And was closer to the number. Now it's Tom Concher and Jack Sapanic. I like the look of Jack's car. They dolled that baby up a little bit during the winter break and then the longer break. 886, 186 for Jack. 889, 177 for Tom. 002 red for Jack. And Tom at least was on the correct side of the tree. Now it's Timmy Markaloo and Kenny Moses. We got back-to-back transmission builders over here with Sapanic and now Moses. Moses goes 007. Moses goes 892. How about an 8.904 for Timmy? Had that been a race, Timmy Markaloo wins it by 1 thou. Kenny Moses going 191 miles an hour to stride. 1 at 91 is getting after it down there. But he still showed up 1 thou late. Here's Ed McCleft for 360 Penguin. Hearing a rumor, we're going to be hearing a little more about those 360 Penguin folks up here in this part of the world in the near future. Jessica Stadowski. .904 for McCleft. I'm telling you, it's like we dared them and they all jumped up and stepped up big. 878, 171 miles an hour for Jessica. And it's Doug Marsters in the left side. Mike McIntyre in the right. McIntyre with a small block. Like the old school Moroso valve cars. Remember those things were like the hottest thing ever? Oh, I had a few sets of them. A lot of different cars over the years. Both drivers take a crack at the tree. Marsters comes up red. McIntyre comes up 011. 896, 149 for Michael. Doug goes 889, 171. And now it's Jeff Kondratic and Kyle Bigley. Bigley's in the trailer business when he's not out here ringing the register with the Super Comp car. An 010 reaction just left last, just a few pairs ago. An 048 left first. 889, 177 for Kondratic. 893, 165 for Kyle Bigley. Jeff had the better of two very good bulbs, 007 to 10. Brings up Dave Markle. And Dave Rowe. Well, it's Dave and Dave. Didn't we do this before? Dave and Dave. Hey, it's me, Dave. Dave's not here. Oh, dude, it's me, Dave. Dave's not here. I'm showing my age now, right? What, that back in the 70s? Had to be in the 70s, wasn't it? Quads, 8, 8, 8, 8. Remarkable, 172. David Roga's 874. And that'll bring up the final car in category. Out of you need a tire. I don't need a tire. Well, you might need a tire. Someday you're going to need a tire. Hey, wait, you could make that, you could use that as the name of a formal wear store. You just have to move the A over. I'm telling you. I'm an idea guy. And that one is brilliant-ish. All right, maybe it's not. Feels like it could work. And you talk about hitting the stop. That's hitting the stop. 888, 175 miles an hour. And that'll take care of Super Comp for the day. Looks like Super Stock is at the ready line. They'll be next. Listen up in the pit. Super Gas. Super Gas, come on down. We need your lanes, please. Super Gas to the lanes. Brian Warner and Scott Giordano going to lead us off. Super J Automatic and GT J Automatic. Qualifying session number 3 as they get ready to take a side-by-side trip down the racetrack with a couple of red Camaros. Now, the Warner brothers have been coming up like side by side or pretty darn close to it, but now Brian's first out and Byron is down there on the starting line. .10-15, 111 miles an hour as Warner holds his throttle down a little longer. 10-10, 105 miles an hour for Scott, as he does the same, but neither one of those yet has driven them all the way to the stripe. See, that's why I think my 8th mile qualifying thing is ingenious. Dave Moan had a different word for it. I think his word was idiotic. Well, you know, oftentimes genius is understood, misunderstood. Okay, Eddie Bloom's car should have like pounded the tire and taken off, and it didn't do that. I mean, it's running down the track, but definitely not like it ought to. 10-17 at 144 for Eddie. Tony Philippon goes 10-71 at 124, and that's what he ran earlier within a couple of thou. Jacques Blaise in the GT 7.5 liter. Richard K in the Valiant. Sorry about that. I've got the phone call that I've been waiting for all day, so I will be back with you in just a moment. Well, Greg Sutherland, he saw his car not do what it was supposed to do out there, and then he just kind of eased it down, and now they're cleaning up behind it. So that's like bad news on top of bad news on top of bad news. Bob Letillier, meanwhile, goes 10:09 at 131. We'll be back at it in a second.
It's time for a new mattress. And who are your mattress go-to guys? PC Richard & Son, that's who. Our mattress experts will help you find the mattress of your dreams. All the best brands at the guaranteed lowest prices. When you want it, need it, just gotta have it, we'll get it there the next day. So sleep better with the right mattress from the right mattress company. Oh yeah, it's time for a new mattress. Get to PC Richard & Son, the company you can trust since 1909.
America's food supply, our heritage, and many of our freedoms are under attack by animal rights extremists who are waging war against America's farmers, sportsmen, and animal owners. The food we eat, sport hunting, fishing, and even owning a pet are all at risk. Protect the Harvest exists to defend our way of life, to preserve our food supply, and to stand up for our individual rights. Now is the time to educate yourself. Learn more at protecttheharvest.com. America's
MicroStrategies and its drag racing team, Von Giovanni Racing, knows what it takes to succeed, both on the track and in business.
MicroStrategies has been transforming business through innovation for nearly 35 years. Our core focus is to help our customers manage, mine, and monetize their data and informational assets, utilizing technology to drive business, the same way we utilize technology to win races. We take a high volume and variety of data from multiple sources to help us succeed in our racing program. Whether we're finishing first in a big race or helping our clients grow their business, it's all about the teamwork and the analytics of winning.
With a dedication and passion to cross the finish line first, the MicroStrategy staff on the Von Giovanni Racing team are constantly pushing forward, analyzing data to increase performance, and striving to be the best.
Out of Waltham, Mass. 11:08, 11:10 are the two prior runs for Karajezian. 10:22 and 10:39 for Jim Reed Jr. All right, engines are fired up here as we continue on. With Superstock. We'll go from here into Supergas and then finish off today with Top Alcohol Dragster and Top Alcohol Funny Car. Don't forget tomorrow morning, the RSC Chapel service. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the pavilion. Everyone is welcome. Bring a chair. Whatever you need to sit down. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. in the pavilion, right behind the tower here. $10.17 for Reed at 11:05. So Karajezian picks up just a little bit from his prior two runs. Jeff Crowell will come up right now, the 2010 Cobra Jet, Danbury, Connecticut. Currently in the number 8 qualified spot here in Superstock, taking on Paul Sutherland. And the Sutherland and the Nova Wagon. 327 Superstock H automatic. 1014, 129, 941, 7, 141 for the Cobra Jet of Rowell. Patrick Glade will come up right now. The 85 Somerset with the 350 Chevy power plant. He's going to take on Greg Gay. And the Murata, the BDR Transport Incorporated, sponsored Dodge powered. Big wheels in the air there for Blake. The GTG automatic. 10:08. Hey, the air must be getting a little bit better. His best run of the day. 10:68 for Gay in the Murata. That thing runs consistent. 67, 72, and a 68. Bill Arpine comes up right now. 05 Cobalt. Chevy power plant. Contractor out of Hamden, Connecticut. Going to take on Mark Lebrecq and his S10. Lebrecq currently in the number 2 spot with the 921 under the index. We'll see what he can do about that. $994 to a $976. Next pair, it will be the 67 Corvette out of Bangor, Pennsylvania. Jeffrey Jewell, the Superstar C automatic, taking on Shane Oates. The rough and ready 99 Firebird out of Oatesville, Pennsylvania. Gardner Landscaper. That's what I've been for the last 3 months, a Gardner Landscaper. No track purpose, so work on the yard. $938, best run for Jewel of the day. $938 with a 9. $10.04, right in the middle there for Oaks and the rough and ready. Dean Ribeiro taking on Roy Kinslow. Kinslow, the Superstock J automatic. Dean Ribeiro, Superstock J automatic out of Candia. The 96 Z28 taking on the 83 Firebird. Tom Boucher to take on Eric Merrifield, the Bounding Beagle. Dakota pickup taking on the 87 Camaro LT, big block 454. Big wheels in the air there for Merrifield. He's a software engineer. 981, 136 for Boucher. 1053 for Merrifield and the Bounding Beagle. Tim Stickles comes up right now. The tribute car to the Beluga racing team. The Malibu to take on Sam Murray, the 72 Cutlass. Oldsmobile powered out of Lakeville, Massachusetts. Looks like this is his first pass of the day, or at least has no other passes registered in the prior 2 qualifying sessions. This will get him on the ladder. Stickles at 11:13, 13:57 for Murray. It looks like that would be the last pair in Superstock. Now we'll go into time trial number 3 for Super Gas. I need Top Alcohol Dragster to the lanes, please. Top Alcohol Dragster to the lanes. Top Alcohol Dragster to the staging lanes, please. All right, here we go. Super gas. Time trial number 3, Henry Stanfield. It's 59 Corvette Roadster. Going to take on Mike Moniz. Moniz the Vega out of Fairhaven, Massachusetts. Mark Equipment and Atlas engineer. Going to take on the Roadster, the 59 Corvette Roadster out of Plainville, Massachusetts. Look at that, Stanfield, perfect reaction time. Let's see what he can do on the 990 index here. Got one half of it, 987.7. Moniz a 985.9 on that, but a nice, it's like a hole-in-one in golf, you know? Perfect reaction time. Don't get them all the time. Chuck Rothermel, 01 Grand Am, taking on a Leonard Rialto in his 63, the Novocaine. Orange in color out of Bangor, Pennsylvania. Top alcohol dragster, top alcohol dragster. We need you to the lanes, please. Top alcohol dragster to the lanes. Novocaine to 983. He's got to slow it down just a tick. 988.1 for Rothermel. Bill Monroe taking on Steve Paquin. Paquin out of North Kingstown, Rhode Island. 55 Bel Air taking on the 27 Roadster Chevrolet powered out of Gilsum, New Hampshire. Paquin missed it by that much. 001 on the red. Doesn't hurt him now. Will when we get to eliminations. 983.5. to a 981.2 for Monroe. Next pair, Guy Hansen, 77 Camaro, Westport, Connecticut, the home. Taking on Darren Wood and his 67 Chevy 2. Down in the weeds there. Want a B1. Well, we got to find out what he wants. Whoa, getting a little squirrely there for Hansen. Says that's enough of that. The car is... Look at that. Wood, 990 with a 0 with an 039 reaction time. 39 package there. Now if you can remember that tomorrow, might go a few rounds. Kevin Carey, 27 Ford Roadster, Dodge powered, taking on Ted Leahy with his GM Performance Parts, the old Warren Johnson 91 Cutlass, owner of Leahy Excavating over there in Jefferson, Massachusetts. Go Carey 037, Leahy 048. Let's see what they can do on that 990 index. 988.1 for Carey, 991.3 for Leahy. Top alcohol dragster, you should be in the staging lanes or heading your way there. Top alcohol dragster. You should be heading to the staging lanes. Mike Sawyer coming up right now. The 2018 Corvette Roadster. Sponsored by Hoosier, Autometer and Select. Taking on Tom Smith Jr., the Hughstown, Pennsylvania 67 Chevy 2. Sawyer 007 on the reaction time. 024 for Smith. Let's see you on the index. 988.9, but Smith a 990 with a 2. And the crew keeps walking back with big smiles on their faces going, hey, The driver did his thing. Maybe we timed it up just right. Jerry Pierce taking on John Puliak. Puliak Racing. Rochester, New Hampshire for Puliak. The Beretta taking on Jerry Pierce. The Pierce and Seltzer out of Albany. $991 flat, 145 for Puliak, $986 deuce for Pierce. We've seen Brian, we've seen Mike, now we got Ray Sawyer. Sawyer, the Sudden Impact number 5, 02 Camaro. He'll take on Ian St. Pierre and his 57 Corvette Roadster. $991 for Sawyer, $991.5 for St. Pierre. Sawyer had a 6. Hey, you want to look at a great looking roadster. Tim Quinton, this thing is only 3 weeks old, out of Wilson, Vermont. A 71 Barracuda. Taking on the 63 Corvette Roadster of Tom Stauber. The Barracuda Roadster. Oh, he's still trying to get used to that car. Like I said, only 3 weeks old. Great looking car. Stauber, $995.7. Quentin will just roll it through. Alcohol funny car to the lanes, please. I need alcohol funny car to the staging lanes, please. Top alcohol funny car. Start making your way to the lanes, and top alcohol dragster, you should be in the lanes getting yourself ready to go. Alcohol dragster in the lanes, and I need alcohol funny car to the lanes, please. Scott Giordano out of Staten Island, New York. The 57 Roadster taking on the 04 Cavalier of Michael Handress. Brooklyn, New York. C2 Converters short line sponsored Cavalier. $990s a pair. $990 with a 3 for Handress. $990 with a 2 for Giordano. Better Light went to Giordano with the 015 to Handress's 021. Margin of victory, 74 ten-thousandths of a second. If we were racing side by side, but that was only a time trial run. Next up, Rich Price, Royersford, Pennsylvania. Taking on Justin Lopes here and his Chevy 2. Missed it by a thou. 002 reaction time. 987.8 for Lopes. And it looks like our last super gas will be Iggy Boychesko. The Eggman, yes. Out of Warminster, Pennsylvania. Retired school teacher. With his 2017 Corvette Roadster. Got the Hoosier sponsorship. Top alcohol funny car. Funny car to the lanes, please. Alcohol funny car to the staging lanes, please. Little red there, but let's see what he can do in the 990 index. 987.7. Don't forget, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Chapel service. 8 a.m. The tower.
MicroStrategies has been transforming business through innovation for nearly 35 years. Our core focus is to help our customers manage, mine, and monetize their data and informational assets. Whether it is in enterprise content management, big data and analytics, IoT, cloud, or security solution, we have the skill and the experience to help our customers disrupt their markets and lead in their industries.
It's time for a new mattress. And who are your mattress go-to guys? PC Richard & Son, that's who. Our mattress experts will help you find the mattress of your dreams. All the best brands at the guaranteed lowest prices. When you want it, need it, just gotta have it, we'll get it there the next day. So sleep better with the right mattress from the right mattress company. Oh yeah, it's time for a new mattress. Get to PC Richard & Son, the company you can trust since 1909.
We are getting them suited up and strapped in, but our alcohol dragsters will be next. I hear the rumble of a nitro burner. Or two. We're going to fire off here with Jackie Frick, John Fink's car in the left side, and Dan Mercier in the right. I guarantee you, John Fink right now is frustrated. They went and tested this car very recently and ran very well. Pretty happy with what the car was doing and seemed to be responding to what they were telling it. And then they came here. And Jackie Frick, in 2 runs so far, her best elapsed time is in the 13-second zone, and her best speed wouldn't get you a ticket if you were out here on Highway 101. Or whatever that highway is. It is 101? I thought so, but I said that and I had a California flashback. We'll see if John Fink and the gang has figured out why the car just won't move. Both times it's knocked the tire loose right at the step. If it doesn't go down the racetrack this time, it's going to be a very frustrating evening for the team because they know tomorrow they're going to have to race for real and they're going to have a race car that they can't seem to find a handle on. Now, Dan Mercier had 1 good run and 1 throwaway run, so you'll take that. You know you went down the racetrack once, you know you can do it again. Sometimes you got to step up and put your toes over the line, but right lane. That is a sigh of relief run for John Fink and the team down here. 531, 269 miles an hour. Well, I said need to make the initial move, and it did. 9:54 at the 60-foot clock is not too shabby, so whatever has been ailing that car, it would appear they found it. 229 miles an hour at the 8th in an injected nitro car. I mean, that's not record setting, but that ain't bad. And Mercier goes 536 at 276 and steps up as well. Mercier went from a 49 to a 36 and went from number 4 to number 5. It's crazy, I tell you, crazy. So Jackie is 3rd now in our 6-car field. Rich McPhillips is the one they're all chasing. And Dwayne Shields now is the one that has not gotten down the racetrack. I guarantee you, watching Jackie go down and make that run, Dwayne's got to be sitting in his car going, all right, because he also was down testing in Virginia very recently. And they believed coming in here that they were going to have a pretty good hot rod. As of yet, well, let's just say they haven't shown it. You see a little trail out there on the starting line. Don't worry about it. That's fuel. It will disappear magically in the heat. Won't be an issue at all. Josh Hart over in the left side for Bernie's. And for TechNet, Josh's good run was a 525. Josh's next run definitely looked like they were trying to get after it, but got clean off the starting line, went out and started smoking the tires through the middle. So watch him do a little power adjustment pull back on that TechNet car, and I expect it to make another solid one. Number 1 right now is Rich McPhillips at 523. Josh's best is 525. So he don't exactly need a big move to make it happen. By the way, top speed of the event was just run by Dan Mercier at 276 miles per hour. The Muscle Milk team is Dwayne Shields. The TechNet car is Josh Hart. No and no. So Dana and Dwayne and the gang over here with the Muscle Milk car are going to stay frustrated. For Josh Hart, he has now made good run, check. Good launch and spin through the middle, check. And didn't go 2 feet. Huh. So McPhillips will stay number one unless Tom Fox can take it away from him. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but let's just put it this way. Tom Fox got a pretty good race car. It would be a monumental task for that blown alcohol car to come out here and run 522 tonight. Looking at the qualified field, I mean, it's crazy. If I told you we're going to have 6 alcohol cars on the property, qualifying numbers 523, 525, 531, 534, 536, and 11 seconds. I don't think there's 2 people on the planet that would say, well, Dwayne Shields will be the guy at 11 seconds. But unless Tom Fox makes the run of his career right now, Rich McPhillips is going to qualify number 1 and go back to the trailer knowing he's got to race Dwayne Shields tomorrow, first round. And when I say Rich, as we've mentioned earlier, we are talking about Rich Jr. Okay, what was that? Tom Fox rolled through the water box and it looked like some mist, some smoke, or something at the back of the blower. Now, it's possible I imagine that. Occasionally I do imagine things like, you know, every friend I had when I was 10 years old. They were all imaginary. I don't see anything happening now that looks weird, but it sure looks strange when he was rolling forward. I'm going to be watching that thing again when he starts revving it up here on the starting line, right at the back of the supercharger. I might have dreamed it, but everything looks fine now. So for Tom Fox and crew, the pin grade. Yeah, don't forget that. You get yelled at. Tom Fox has got one really nice run and one almost lost a race car run under his belt so far. 532, 273 miles an hour. Hey, for Team Fox, after their first run, that is a nice recovery, gang. Back-to-back 530s. I'm going to put the blower car in the number 4 spot. McPhillips rolled in a little deep. I know he didn't mean to do that, and then he hit the gas and shut it off out there about 300 feet. Now, that may have actually been by design. Thank you, T-Bone. I got it. I appreciate it greatly. Nice to see you. When I grow up, I want to be you. You know, aside for, you know, all the responsibilities and stuff. I don't want to do that. So Rich McPhillips in the number 1 spot, looking to date with Dwayne Shields tomorrow. Dan Mercier and Josh Hart. Canada against Florida. And Jackie Frick will take on Tom Fox as Team Fox tries to overcome all the injected cars. Let's see if they can figure out a way out of here with the trophy. I'll tell you, they got a good-looking race car the last 2 runs. No doubt about it. And now it is Dan Pomponio, who has got to be maxed out on frustration. And DJ Cox, the DXI car right now, if we were qualifying on average, DJ would be number 1. There wouldn't be anybody even close to him because his average is 557. Ran it twice. And for Pomponio, they were down in Gainesville earlier in the year for the Baby Gators, and they had a car that wasn't very cooperative. Well, obviously there hadn't been a whole lot of racing going on since then, but they have been through that thing over and over and over again. And came here with high hopes, and right now they have high blood pressure. High hopes, just for the record, better than high blood pressure. Number one qualifier is Sean Bellemere. What a shock there, huh? The reigning champ sitting 600 in front of the field with his best run. But all eyes right now are on that Pomponio machine. Have they finally... Whoa, easy, Dan. Man, if he didn't hit the wall, he came real close, and then you see a whole lot of smoke down there, and that doesn't look like it's getting any better. That's a wild ride for Dan Pomponio. The scoreboard lights up and says 574. Now, if he made contact with the wall, that would be disallowed. I don't think that he did, but he didn't miss it by much. And DJ Cox continues his incredible string of mid-50s. A 558 at 264 miles an hour for DJ. And if we were qualifying on average, DJ right now is looking pretty darn good. And word from the top end is that we have a mess. They have got some slickery stuff down there on the racetrack and in the shutdown area. So Pomponio's car finally made the clean initial move and transition and danced around over there and got over real close to the wall, but then it hurt itself. And listening to radio conversations behind me, I heard this is going to take a little while. So there you have it. I was getting closer and closer to that lobster roll. Hate it for Dan and the team, and also hate it for the fact that we're just going to have to give them some time. We've got the Division I safety team out here. We've also got the New England Dragway safety team. We'll put our best folks on it. We'll get it cleaned up, and then we'll wrap up. Qualifying and time trial day number 1. Word from the top end of the racetrack is a scuff on the left side of the body, indicating contact and DQing the run. Now, Dan is still going to be in the field for tomorrow, and he will still have whatever data they could gather from that run. But that 574 will be disallowed. And for DJ Cox, I got to tell you, that car looking pretty darn good right now. And I don't just mean that it's pretty, because it always has been. But 57, 57, 58. Looks like a pretty good race car. Yawn, stretch, whatever you want to do. It's going to be a little bit here before we're ready to go again. If I'm hearing correctly, all of the cleanup looks like it's in the shutdown area, and that will speed things up a little bit. But it's still going to take some time. I'll let you know when we're getting close. Hey, while it's quiet, just to let everybody know in case you didn't, and I know most of you Division I regulars certainly do, the juniors will kick us off tomorrow. Cannot make noise until 9 a.m., so at 9 a.m. we'll get them warmed up and pointed this way. That'll be followed by Stock, Super Street, Super Comp, Super Stock, and Super Gas. Same run order as today, and that will be time trial or qualifier number 4 and set the ladder. At that point, we'll bring our juniors up for their second qualifying run, go into Top Dragster, Comp, and Top Sportsman for their final qualifying run. And from that point on, it'll be eliminations the rest of the day. We will run round 1 of everybody except the alcohol cars and the juniors, which will run to conclusion Saturday tomorrow. Plan accordingly. Mr. Gill and Mr. Bellamore, you can get back in your cars if you would, please. They're telling us we're getting close enough at the top end of the racetrack that you guys go ahead and load back in. Hey, listen up in the pits or in the stands or wherever you may be. If that is your drone, please remove it. You cannot fly the drone over the racetrack or over the grandstands or on the property here. Thank you so much. Well, as the drone heads back to wherever home is, Jim, you can go ahead and put your shotgun away. Okay, word from the top end of the racetrack is we're clear. Thank you, by the way, to whoever the drone pilot is for taking care of that for us. And here comes the final pair. So here we go, the final two that currently sit in the number 1 and 3 qualifying positions. Now the number 1 position could be an advantage here in a 7-car field tomorrow. Because when you get 7 cars on the property, the number 1 qualifier doesn't have to race anybody in round number 1. Right now, the number 1 qualifier is the guy with the number 1 on the side of his car. Not to be confused with the guy who has the number 1 on the side of his car. Region champ in the left side, Team Gill for Moduline, Matt, Paul, and company. And over here on the right side, the Hussey head gasket Redline Oil Chevrolet of the Killer Bees, Bartone, Boggs, and Bellemere. Wheelie bar adjustment on the left side is done. A nod, a nod. Dad walks away on the left. Crew chief walks away on the right. Bellemere at 5:51 is number 1. If Matt Gill can pick up a hunt, well, Bartone's team puts their toes over the edge, and how about Matt Gill? 5:55, 267 miles an hour. And that's pretty big because they just went around DJ Cox and into the number 2 spot. Sean Bellemere rattles, shuts off, goes 964 at 91 miles an hour, but Bellemere had the number 1 spot. He'll hold on to that. And tomorrow, he will race nobody in round number 1. Matt Gill will race John Headley in round number 1. DJ Cox gets Dan Pomponio in round number 1. And Fred Tigas and Brian Golick, who both opted to not make this qualifying session, will race each other. So that's going to conclude our on-track activity for today. A good day, nice weather day, and good action out there. A couple of scary moments, but no real big incidents. The one cleanup down there, but hey, you can fix that kind of stuff. And tomorrow morning, we fire off with the junior cars in a qualifying run. They will be on the track first. Can't make noise until 9 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, however, we will have chapel service if you want to come down and take part in that. We will have the juniors run qualifying and race to conclusion. We will have the alcohol cars race to conclusion. And the rest of the field will have one more qualifying or time trial session and then run first round. And that's all tomorrow. Enjoy the evening. I'm going to go find a lobster roll. I know there's one somewhere. Appreciate Bill for sharing his office with me today. I'm Alan. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.